One eye open when I'm sleeping. One eye.
Eye. One eye open when I'm sleeping. One eye.
Lord. Oh Lord, what is going on here? Let me make sure this bitch is working. Good Lord, I got an echo. Let me turn off this goddamn thing over here. What? Why is this flying across? Get a new desk. They said it would be fun. They said. Good Lord. All right. What is going on, y'all? What is going on? Let's talk about week 12 and what transpired this weekend in football. All right. Well, first and foremost, congratulations to all the teams that did mess around and win. I won a little bit of money on Monday night on Underdog Fantasy. So if you guys haven't already, click the link in my description. Go to Underdog Fantasy right now. Download the app. Use promo code Adonis, as you can see on the screen right here. And they will match your deposit up to 100 Dura. If you guys were interested in what my victory was, here it was right here, turning 15, or I should say turning $20 into 400. So as you can see right there, I had a Pierce getting under 3 receptions. He had 0. Matt Ryan throwing an interception. He came through with 1. Steven Sims under 10 yards receiving. Luckily, he only had 9. Gunner having under 12 yards receiving. He had 0. And Gentry under 7 yards receiving, and he had -4. So that gave me 400 Dura. So if you guys haven't already went on Underdog Fantasy, make sure you go ahead and do so. However, last night, I was looking forward to winning $500, and lo and behold, I got screwed over because individuals did not want to do their job. Who am I talking about, you may ask? First and foremost, turning $10 into 200. Last night, I had Mitchell Robinson over 15 points, or I should say a combined 15 points and rebounds combined. He got to 19. I had RJ Barrett under 30 points. Or under 30 points, rebounds, and assists all combined. He came through for me. Dante DiVincenzo over 5 points. He came through with 6. Klay Thompson under 4 3-pointers. He only had 1. Jordan Poole needed to give me 16 points. He only gave me 9, but he dished out 9 assists. Who were the women in the front row that did not get Jordan Poole to want to go out there and put on a show? You just cost me $200. I could have been up, but that didn't happen. And just when I thought it was bad, last night, what the hell just happened? My damn necklace was attached. God damn. Come on now. You know it's GLD, so I got to put that back on my neck. But I'm going to do it after the doggone stream. We ain't going to do that right now. And then I had to try to turn 15 into 300. Mind you, both games is going on simultaneously. If you guys haven't hit the like button, hit the like button already. This is what I had going on to turn 15 into 300. Let me make sure I find it. Oh, perfect. Here we go right here. I had Amir Coffee under 11 points. He only got 7. Marcus Morris under 22.5 rebounds and assists. He only got 15. I needed Jeremy Grant to get under 8 rebounds and assists. He only had 5. And then Nicholas Batum to be under 11 points, rebounds and assists. This motherfucker had a rebound towards the end of the game that cost me money. Justice Winslow under 10 points. This motherfucker scored 10 exactly. You talk about stressed. I always got the right pick, but one person screwed me over one way or another. There's no better way to go out there and participate in a little bit of sports betting. So make sure you click the link in my description. Download the Underdog Fantasy app right now. Use promo code Adonis. It will match your deposit up to at least 100. Oh, I said at least. They will match you up to a maximum of $100. And make sure you participate in the pick'em. It is my personal favorite. So you go over there and let them know that I sent you. Let's talk about what happened in week 12 of the NFL. Thanksgiving week. First and foremost, comment section. I want to see it right now. Put a 1 in the chat if your team won. Put a 2 in the chat if your team lost. All right, there is no threes. There were no ties. 1 in the chat if your team won. 2 in the chat if your team lost. I'll get things started. I'll put a 1 Pittsburgh 1 on Monday night. And as Diego Maradona would say, Vamos, Argentina! They have won. And they are on to the elimination stage. But I see ones in the chat. I see some twos. Oh my, you don't have a team. Says is that Paquet Piquelito? Piquelito? Did I pronounce that right? I have a feeling I said that wrong. Peyton put 2 on and said, oh damn, we viewing from the west instead of the east tonight. Indeed, we are viewing from the west. I'm trying some new things out regarding different angles. So hopefully things can work out in my favor. But we have this happening where people's teams had seen some W's, other people's teams did not see any W's. Oh boy, I'm seeing a good number of ones. All right, that is good. 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 The Steelers won it for you. Magnificent. Magnificent. Bills Mafia. Oh boy. King said, "What's going on with the unchiseling of the Chiseled Adonis? He just conquered COVID, so we will have a next episode that will be coming out really soon." MP1 said, "Bold of you to assume that I'm not a part of the." Oh Lord, Gorilla Glue cheat. Oh God damn, MP1, sir, excuse me. What intonation are you referencing, sir? But nevertheless. Alex, for 5 on it, said, love your content and channel. Been here since 2016. You still deliver every time. We didn't, boys. Keep up the terrific work. Yes, indeed. I appreciate you. Tyrone said, where did I get the Hold My Nuggets sign from? Where did I get the Hold My Nuggets sign from? Oh, behind me in Hold My Nuggets Incorporated. It was on Amazon. Well, if you type in LED custom sign, it was the one that said, let me see if I pull it up before we break down these doggone games. It was Kyler Murray and Patrick Peterson. Patrick Peterson said Kyler Murray doesn't care about anybody but Kyler Murray on his podcast during the season when your team is on Hard Knocks. Yeah, they got to be doing this for views for Hard Knocks. But then why would you do that? That's stupid. That's stupid. Okay. I didn't expect to see that one today. That's ridiculous. Patrick Peterson, you sir, are a what was it in Cyber Chase? You're a dunce bucket, sir. What the hell was that? Why would you do that? Why would you say that? Black Hood said, hey yo, Chisel, love you, brother. Hey man, I appreciate you. You're always in the comment section showing love, man. I appreciate you. Every doggone video, I get a notification that you done left a comment. Kyle said, you're so great. Love seeing you every week for football. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Let me try to go find. I just got to find this. Just got to find this for Amazon, and then we will be in business so I can tell you which LED sign it was. I would have to go. It was 4 months ago. We'll just go 2020, 2022, and it is right here. Custom LED signs. Should I drop it in the... Okay, perfect. I found it. Ooh, $68. All right. Let me grab and put it inside of the comment section so then we can move forward with breaking down what transpired this week in football. And we're going to go in chronological order. Well, not really chronological order, really, because you just start with Thursday and then go straight to today. How the hell I go to my channel, it doesn't even pop up there. That's ridiculous. That's how I know I'm shadow banned. How I go searching for my own videos and I can't find it. That's wild. Well, there it is. There it is. That's ridiculous. But if you type in LED on this really ridiculous. I can't even find my own live. How I'm live right now, I can't find my live. What part of the game is this? Yeah, they on some shit, dog. YouTube is wild. Let me go. All right, perfect. All right, I found my damn live. See the scheme? All right, here we go. Drop this sumbitch in the chat room. I had to go on mobile, obviously. All right, there we go. That is the that is the LED that you should see when you search it. It should say the Richards. It should say the Richards. And then it's 68 Dura. I can't remember how much I ended up paying. I think this is on sale or some shit, whatever the case may be. All right, let's get into the games. Lions going to make a playoff run. I actually predicted that they would make the playoffs. So I would love to see them go on a run, but we shall see how things transpire. First and foremost, first game of the week. Thursday Night Football Thanksgiving special. Who was it? The Detroit Lions hosting the Buffalo Bills. And let me tell you something right now. I don't need to talk about what transpired during the game. I only need to talk about the final 2 drives. Or I should say 3 because, actually 2 because I don't believe that Detroit got a playoff on the last, I don't think Detroit got the playoff. Wait a minute. Let me go just double check. Did they have a play or it was a fumble? Yeah, it was a fumble on the kickoff, so we're not even going to count that. Detroit drove down the field, right? At this point in the game, Detroit was trailing by 3. They drove down the field to Buffalo's 33-yard line. It was 3rd and 1. At this point, Detroit had just called timeout after Amon-Ra St. Brown set up the 3rd and 1. Detroit still had 2 timeouts remaining. Nobody ever does 2 with these 2 fingers. But they set up the first down or set up the 3rd and 1 with 2 timeouts remaining. Right? You're at Buffalo's 33-yard line. On the clock remains at this time 32 seconds, right? So you've got 2 timeouts remaining, 3rd and 1 on Buffalo's 32-yard line. They go and talk about it. What do they do on 3rd and 1? They throw the football, and Goff and his receiver, who I believe he threw the ball to, Shark, the pass sailed incomplete. They settled for a field goal. Why on 3rd and 1 with 2 timeouts do you throw the football at the 32-yard line? That doesn't make sense. Run the ball, try to milk additional clock. I believe Buffalo only had 1 timeout remaining. What was the purpose of doing that there? No, Goff has to make the throw. Don't get me wrong. Goff has to make the throw. It was, I think they were trying to do a back shoulder. I don't know what the deal was, but they both were not on the same page, right? So I guess they were trying to do the whole back shoulder thing. Run the football. There is no downside to running the football there. You need 1 yard. You have 2 timeouts. If in the event that you fail, then you kick the field goal. But to throw a pass and y'all not be in sync on it, you gave Buffalo time. So they kick the field goal. Buffalo gets the football back. Very first play from scrimmage, Josh Allen finds Stephon Diggs for 38 yards. What? Then I believe on the very next play, Josh Allen scrambles, picks up another first down. They're in perfect field goal range. Tyler Bass through the uprights. 2 seconds left. Ensuing kickoff. Obviously, the Lions got to do the whole pitching and lateraling and to try to get the game into their hands. That fails. Fumble recovered, and game is over. That's so stupid. The Lions fucked themselves. And Josh Allen threw a fucking dart, laser, rifle of a pass to Stephon Diggs. Beautiful pass, but that should have never happened. The Lions, with a time coming off of a timeout to when they were talking about what the hell they wanted to do, should have ran the football, then pick up the first down, use a second timeout, and now you have 3 downs to try to march further down the field. 3rd and 1, 2 timeouts in your back pocket. Don't throw the football. Run the football. Because if in the event you want to play the safe game of not even giving their team an opportunity to get the ball in their hands, you can milk the clock all the way down to as low as possible, 2 seconds, then kick the field goal for the tie and go to overtime. But if you want to play to win, you play with leverage. And you fucked yourself out of leverage to try to throw the deep ball on 3rd and 1 with 32 seconds left with 2 timeouts. You fucked yourself. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Because the Lions, if I'm not mistaken, had won 3 consecutive at that point. And you had a chance to hand Buffalo, I believe, their 3rd consecutive loss. And instead, you screw yourself. That right there, classic Lions football. Classic Lions football. It just don't make no sense, dog. It just don't make no sense. Braylon put 5 on it, said, as a Detroit native, nothing but pain for the Bills games. Man. And now, Buffalo becomes the first team since the 2015 Detroit Lions to win 2 consecutive games at Ford Field. How the visiting team be a better home team than the home team in the home team stadium? Because if you remember, 2 weeks ago, Buffalo actually snapped their 2-game win streak 2 weeks ago. When they won and had to play, I believe it was Minnesota. No, it wasn't Minnesota. When they had to play in Ford Field 2 weeks ago. That's crazy. Detroit ought to be ashamed of themselves. Ought to be ashamed of themselves, bruh. Moving on to the second game of that Thanksgiving afternoon. We had them boys, Dallas Cowboys took down the New York Giants. And like I've always said all season, really, the Giants are a team that has benefited on things falling in their lap. They're the equivalent to coming home late from work. And immediately when you make it to your block, you find parking. Oh, it's amazing, right? Through 8 weeks, you find, or I should say, through 7 weeks, you find parking 6 times. It's amazing. The last 4 weeks, you can't find parking. You chalked yourself up to being, man, I'm just a great driver. Luck's always on my side. Well, guess what, buddy? Luck ran out. The Giants aren't that great of a football team. Good? Yes. Great? No. Contenders? No. Pretenders? Absolutely. Because they had a 13-7 lead, then allowed Dallas to score 21 unanswered, and then ultimately could not find the end zone until the very last drive, tried the onside kick, did not work out in their favor. They couldn't do anything all day. The run game was a freaking factor whatsoever, right? It had to be the Daniel Jones game. And what did he do? Whole lot of nothing. Second half, the Giants didn't look like they knew how to play football. The fuck was they doing out there? Them boys took care of business and cemented themselves as the number 2 team in the NFC East. And I'll tell you something right now. The Giants going to end the year at the bottom of their division. I promise you that. I promise you that. I already knew. I kept saying all year long, the Giants ain't as good as their record say it is. All right, granted, Bill Parcells once said, you are what your record says you are. However, you can see frauds from a mile away. Pittsburgh in 2020, frauds. Giants 2022, frauds. Do not be surprised if they end the year 9-8, 8-9. They win one more game for the remainder of the season. They mess around and be a 10-7 football team that missed the playoffs. I promise you, they not as good as their record says they are. You had a very good first half of the season. You've lost 3 of your last 4. And now people looking at you like, man, what's going on? I'll tell you who is on the up and up. Them boys We them boys, we came out here and we took care of business on Thanksgiving. They thought we wasn't going to get the job done. I told you we going to always get the job done. What? Because we got Dick. We got Zeke. CD Lamb. Can't forget about Dalton Schultz. We had 3 tight ends score on Thanksgiving night. We got Zeke. Can't forget about Tony Tupper Pollard, Trevon Diggs, Micah Parsons, Tank Lawrence, Van Der Esch, Skip Bayless as the analyst, Michael Irvin as the analyst, Tony Romo on commentary, Troy Aikman on commentary. We them boys, we gonna win the NFC East, hopefully, if the Eagles fall off. But if not, we gonna go in wild card, win 3 games in the playoff, go to the Super Bowl, and win 6 rings, 6 rings, 6 rings, 6 rings, 6 rings, 6 rings, 6 rings. We them boys. What the? What is, fam? I don't understand. Everything just went black just now. I don't know why that is. I don't know why that is. Everything went black just now. Somebody let me know what the fuck happened. That was very bizarre. Brandon put 20 on it. Said, for Giants fans, I want to say that y'all are surprisingly doing better with Brian Dabble, or Dable, as it's pronounced, as coach. Think about it like this. Would you rather have Dable or Joe Judge again, or someone worse than how Judge was? No, don't get me wrong. Judge was terrible. So anything is better than Judge right now, right? However, the Giants still got a ways to go. Because remember, I believe it was week 7 when the Jets were sitting at 5-2, the Giants were sitting at 6-1, and the newspapers are talking about Jets Giants Super Bowl. It's gonna be a Subway Series Super Bowl. Fam, there's a whole second half of the season, and motherfuckers over here talking about Super Bowl, talking about deep playoff run. Have y'all looked at the games? Ridiculous. Absolute tomfoolery. Nevertheless, moving on to the main event of Thanksgiving, Minnesota Vikings, New England Patriots. And let me tell you something right now. Justin Jefferson is operating as the best wide receiver in the NFL. Tyreek Hill was off to a hell of a start to, begin this season. He's still been on an absolute tear. But Justin Jefferson, these past few weeks, my God, uncoverable. You can't stop him. When the ball's in the air, this man making circus catch after circus catch, difficult catch after difficult catch, surviving contact after freaking body blow. It looked like he going one-on-one with Dudley in Street Fighter, and somehow this man is still able to endure the constant punishment at such a small frame. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Can't talk about how Kirk family member bounced back after a piss-poor game getting shellacked by the Cowboys a couple weeks ago, and he came out here and let his damn chain hang. I said, so I said. They showed up. They did what they had to do. They took care of business, and the Lolly Lule Low had absolutely no answer. No answer whatsoever. They tried to make things interesting towards the end. Mac Daddy Jones thought he could try to make something happen towards the end, but that wasn't indeed the case, because after all day of the Vikings not getting home, finally in the fourth quarter, they took care of business. But I got to say, Minnesota, man, Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins, surprisingly, he actually showed up in a primetime game, but my God, fam, they look good. We already know, 1 o'clock, Kirk Cousins, that man looked like a goddamn Hall of Famer. Kirk Cousins usually don't win on prime time. He took care of business. And the Minnesota Vikings got the job done. So you got to give kudos to those guys, man. They got the job done. They sitting at 9-2, second best team in the NFC, at least as you pertain to, record or whatever the case may be. They took care of business. Kurt Thuggins. Braylon put 5 on said Justin Jefferson needs to be in the MVP discussion. Completely underrated. You know what? I think he might have just messed around and inserted himself. I still think Tyreek Hill should be getting some MVP consideration as well. I think the way the pecking order goes would be Hurts, Mahomes, Jefferson, and Hill are there now. Josh Allen, I think he's out for now, and he's got to work his way back in. Tua is in the conversation as well, so I throw Tua in there alongside the Jefferson and Tyreek Hill. Those guys are not, they balling, man. Peyton put Tua on it. Said it's the NY media plus we starving for some good football. Indeed, y'all are. Yeah, Tua is in the conversation as well. There's one other guy. There's one other quarterback. Hold on, because there's six names. You have Hurts, Mahomes, Tua, Jefferson, Hill. There's one more guy. There's one more guy who's balling this season. I'm not gonna go running back. I don't think there's any running backs who should get MVP consideration. Burrow's starting to turn it around. He's coming on, but I wouldn't have him in there yet. I wouldn't have Burrow in there yet. No, to tell you the truth, with Chandler. I just said Chandler. With Micah Parsons, I'd actually say no. I think it's going to be a defensive player of the year thing. I don't think he would. He's not wrecking the NFL to the level to where he should be the MVP. I don't think he's wrecking it to where he should be the MVP. Defensive player of the year, he's certainly got all kinds of consideration. And I'll say this for Travis Kelce. Kelce should be getting that consideration, yes, but I think it's more Mahomes. And don't get me wrong, because Kelce is the best tight end in the league. He will get the first team All-Pro nod, but I wouldn't have him there in the MVP conversation. He's been killing the game, absolutely been killing the game, but I think it's this season slightly more Mahomes than Kelce. But the reason why I still say I'll have Tyreek Hill despite Tua is Tyreek Hill, the first 8 weeks was on pace for like fucking to break every receiving record for the individual season. Like it's ridiculous. He got to 1,000 yards by like week 7, week 8 or some shit. Like that's crazy. But things are starting to slow down somewhat for him. But Heineke, no. Lamar, no. Geno Smith, I think he'll be in the comeback player of the year. A couple of weeks ago, I would have said yes, but I think he's somewhat dropped out a bit. But Hurts is number one in my book for MVP consideration right now. Yeah, Tariq, he only had 14. So the thing was, through the 7 weeks, the receptions and the yards was crazy, and you would just assume that the TDs was coming. But since that's not the case, it's starting to dwindle somewhat down. And Jayden Waddle is also getting a lot of looks and everything. He's not in the MVP conversation, but there is that as well. Cleveland had been waiting months to see the stuff you'd come up with for Deshaun in your commentaries. As a Browns fan, you're excited and terrified. Yes, indeed, because Week 13 is here, and I believe on prime time, the Browns will be taking on the Texans. The NFL knew exactly what they were doing. No DeAndre Hopkins. You can't get caught for PEDs, and then now you're in the MVP conversation. No, ain't no way in hell that's going to happen. He's been balling since he came, back from suspension. He's been absolutely balling, but MVP conversation, come on now. Let's not do all that. Moving on to Sunday games. Carolina and Denver, Broncos country. Let's die. Let me tell you something right now. Russell Wilson is playing so bad that today, on his birthday, today is Russell Wilson's birthday. Ciara threw that man a party. Half of his teammates showed up. Half. Now, half of a football team is still a very good turnout. But you think half the football team only showed up because, the other half was occupied? Or because they don't fuck with Russell Wilson? Ain't no way you getting paid $250 million. How much touchdowns does Russell have on the year? 9? Fam, we more than halfway through the NFL season. You have more fingers than Russell Wilson has touchdowns. This is the man who walked in to the press conference when he became a Denver Bronco, talking like LeBron when he joined the Heat. Multiple championships. How much championships you gonna get? Another one. He got 8. Even worse. 7. Russell Wilson looking like garbage. Unlimited diarrhea. Unlimited. How does that happen? Matter of fact, let me go see how much touchdowns he got on the year. He got 8 touchdowns on the year. What? 8 touchdowns on the year. What? How does that happen? Let's read off his touchdown interceptions from when he first entered the league. His rookie season, 26 touchdowns. His sophomore season, 26 touchdowns. His third season, 20. His fourth, 34. Fifth, 21. Sixth, 34. Seventh, 35. Eighth, 31. Ninth, 40. 40. 10th, last season, he had 25. This season, this son of a bitch got 8. How? Mr. Unlimited. 8 touchdowns. 8. Do you recognize Deion Sanders has as much toes as Russell Wilson has touchdowns? And Deion Sanders had 2 toes amputated. How? We thought that Russell Wilson was going to show up for the Denver Broncos and take the 8, go to the side, and throw unlimited, infinite touchdowns. But instead, he took the infinite sign, put it upright, and only threw 8. How? And you know what's interesting? They had one drive where I believe he threw like 4 touchdowns, and 3 of them ended up getting called back. But still, that's on one isolated drive. This man looks like shit. You got defensive linemen getting in his face and shit. He's like, hey, man, Broncos country. Let's rock. Go suck your mother. Whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute. All of the hype for Russell Wilson went out the window with this season. And I'll say this right now. A lot of people talking about, man, look how much money they would have saved on debt. Look how much money they're going to end up losing if they were to cut Russell Wilson right now. Man, they're going to owe him a shit ton of money. You might as well just ride out with Russell Wilson, really. But I just don't understand it. It's one thing if Hackett is incompetent, which he is, and he'll definitely not have this job next year. Russell Wilson has pieces. Jerry Jeudy's on that team. Cortland Sutton's on that team. KJ Hamler's on that team. You got guys who can get open and catch the football. How the hell you can't find them? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. This man was considered a consensus, I won't say top 5, but top 10 quarterback. Certified. Certified. If you watched from 2012 up until the beginning of this season, not counting 2022 at all, we can all say without question, Russell Wilson's a top 10 quarterback. Anybody who tells you he's not, they're lying. Anybody who tells you he was a top 5 quarterback coming into this season, he has a legitimate argument. 10 years, he averaged 28 touchdowns. 28, 29 touchdowns. Coming into the season, he's a top 10, arguably top 5 QB in the league. And you got 8 touchdowns through 12 weeks. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Jeremiah said it's either the coach who needs to be fired or it just shows that Russell is a system quarterback. But here's the thing, right? Even if he was a system quarterback, he is playing the worst football of his entire career. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sit over here and kick a man when he's down. I may make the jokes and all this other stuff, but it's the attitude that exists about it. Because he's always had somewhat of a fake persona about him that always rubbed people the wrong way. The fact that Richard Sherman and Marshawn Lynch can get on a podcast and be like, man, if I wanted to reach out to Russell, I got to talk to his manager. You mean to tell me I'm your teammate, I can't directly contact you, you getting $250 million, you playing like absolute garbage, and you just navigating with no frustration whatsoever? Like if Russell Wilson was getting into press conferences, irate, banging on tables, You can clearly see the indignation is invigorating inside of his soul. You can see that he's apoplectic at the conclusion of games. Don't get me wrong. People can be very strong in their faith. Jesus, Jesus, that's what we call you. You can be Jesus, Jesus, man of faith and everything. I won't be rattled because the God got me. Cool. But you got a locker room filled with men. You a captain. You got to be a leader of men. You just over here like, man, we lost. But hey, there's people who's starving in the world. This is just a game. This ain't just a game to everybody who's wearing a jersey. You got to be stoic. You got to be able to lead. And that don't seem to be the case. That's crazy, bruh. He just unrattled, unfazed. You out here through 12 weeks. You threw 8 touchdowns. You navigating as if this season, oh man, you know, all things, bad things do happen. Yeah, it's like there's no personal responsibility whatsoever. Something happened with Jade Cargill. Shit, I'll see that after the show. Whatever the case may be. Look, it's ridiculous, bruh. It's ridiculous. And for Carolina, they really ain't do nothing too special in this game. Sam Darnold made his season debut, if I'm not mistaken. Went out there and was rolling, 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 rolling in the end zone, rolling in the end zone. For the score, Dante Foreman Grill went over 100 yards, and Carolina got the job done. But really, this was more of a story of the Denver Broncos than it was the Carolina Panthers. Just absolutely atrocious. Atrocious. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. That's all I got to say about that. Moving on to Tampa Bay and Cleveland. But first, B-Dub, put 2 on, said Broncos country. Let's ride. He put 5 on again. He said Broncos country. Let's ride. Adrian put 5 on and said, I mean, Russell Wilson tore a ligament in his finger on his throwing hand. I had an injury similar to that, and he might be done 2-year recovery. Well, if that's the case, you got to adjust your game if you're going to be on the field. You got to adjust your game. You can't just be rocket ball Russ trying to throw the ball deep. All right, cool. I got this problem with my finger. All right, so let's see what works. When you're in practice, you know what hurts, you know what doesn't. So essentially, especially when it comes to injuries, right? When somebody's dealing, like, for example, when like Ben tore his elbow, all this other stuff, right? If in the event you try to soldier through, like Brett Favre, right, who never missed a game up until his final season. If you're somebody who soldiers through injuries, football isn't a sport where you can't practice and expect to show up on Sundays and put on amazing performances. Don't get me wrong. There are times in which you can not practice, go into a game, and things look great. However, the preparation is necessary. So if you have this injury going into the week for the impending game, when you're going through the motions in practice, you know what hurts, you know what doesn't hurt. So, for example, if I got to throw a bang 8, or I got to throw a post corner, or I got to throw a deep dig, and all of those hurt, either I got to get off the field or I got to adjust. Hey, man, shit, all these passes at 12 to 15 yards, intermediate to deep, I can't do that. Now, if we go in short, shit, we're going to have to play the screen game. So you got to play to your strengths. And Russell Wilson simply has not done that this season whatsoever. It's very unfortunate. 4th and 1, Patuan said, yo, check out Jade right now on AEW. The remote ain't near me, so I'd have to stand up. Matter of fact, let me go to Twitter. I'll go to Twitter. Oh, Lord in heaven. They done got Nikki. What the hell was she doing? Hold on. What? Fam, what is going on? This thick Nikita Lyons. Somebody tell me what Nikita Lyons do. Did she just wrestle John Cena? How? What is she doing, bruh? What the hell is she doing? Who is she attacking? Who is she attacking? What the hell was that? What the hell was that? All right, let me see. Jade Cargill. Talk about oh my. Oh heavens. Oh, Delicioso. But let's get back to football. Brothers and sisters, we must stay focused. Brothers, we must stay focused.
Lord have mercy. We must stay focused, brothers.
Mm, 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 mm. God damn. God damn. We over here supposed to be talking about football, and y'all got me over here looking at a meal.
Lord have mercy. We must stay focused, brothers.
Now, as we progress forward, we have yes, go blue. Yes, indeed. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. I'm pulling for them as long as they don't see USC. Now, if they do see USC, then I gotta pull for SoCal. But nevertheless, Lame said, why do I have so many notifications? Man, hey, I'd like to say I'm a desired individual. But let's not go there. Whatever the case may be, next game, Tampa Bay and Cleveland. The game started strong, back-to-back touchdowns between both teams, and then it went to a complete stagnation where both teams simply could not find conversions, first downs, the end zone, field goals. Then they couldn't do anything. Guys dropping footballs. It was ludicrous, right? Then Tampa Bay goes down the field. They find the end zone. Cleveland has to have it at the end of the game. Fourth down, David Njoku, one-hand catch to even up the score and force overtime. If that ain't clutch, I don't know what is. Then, in overtime, both teams went back to the bulk of the game where neither can do anything. Sacks, incompletions. Personally, I thought the game was going to end in a tie. Anybody else felt as if Tampa and Cleveland was going to end in the tie? Those who were watching the game? Did anybody feel like the game was going to end in a tie? Because I did. I thought the game was going to end in a tie. Mason put 10 on it. Said, "Are you ready for the return for Deshaun? I know people don't like him due to his past, but he's a top 5 QB in the NFL. I actually agree. I'm sad he had to deal with you're sad that he had to deal with, as you want to see him have a long career improvising. Interesting. But yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. I know people are gonna they're gonna boo him. I saw a couple of tweets that was somewhat unsettling this morning, but of course it's Twitter, so it's a land of degeneracy. People were like, man, when he tears his ACL, they're gonna celebrate. I'm a god damn, jeez Louise, man. But ultimately it is what it is. But I am ready for the return. But I thought the game was gonna end in a tie, and then what happens? Tampa has a defender slip. Amari Cooper is wide open. Brissett finds him in stride. Somehow he doesn't race all the way to the end zone. He gets tackled, but that sets up the game-winning touchdown. I believe it was from Nick Chubb, running into the end zone for the score. And Tampa, despite them not being as good as they had been the last 2 years, they're in the NFC mid. So they'll survive. They'll win the division, 8-9. They'll go to the playoffs. They'll win a playoff game. I think not. But unfortunate situation for them. The human erection finds the end zone as quarter Chubb, half a Chubb, full Chubb. Hey, went in for the score. And they won the game in OT. I thought that the game was going to end in a tie, but ultimately that did not happen. Overall, good job from the Cleveland Browns keeping pace in the AFC North alongside Pittsburgh, who is in last place. I'll get to them in a bit. But then, of course, Cincinnati winning games and Baltimore blowing games, and now both teams have an identical record, if I'm not mistaken. But all it takes is two consecutive games lost, and then Cleveland winning 2 games in a row, and they right back in the dance. That's the beautiful thing about divisional football is you never really know. Things can look very positive at one point, but we still got a lot of football left. You got 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 6 weeks of football left. 6 weeks of football left. before this season is over. So do not think anything is set in stone, locked down, anything like that, unless you're in the NFC North. But because Minnesota pretty much got that son of a bitch on lock, nobody's going to catch them. But one way or another, very good victory for Cleveland, and this has been a tumultuous season for Tom Brady, dog. I truly believe this will be his last year. Very unfortunate way to go out. Very, very unfortunate way to go out. Next up, we had Jacksonville and Baltimore. Let me tell you something right now. Baltimore blow leads like a motherfucker, dog. Every single loss, all 3 losses this year have been fourth quarter collapses. This is the first that wasn't a double-digit collapse. But my God, Baltimore, what the fuck, dog? What the fuck? All game long, this entire game was lacking offense. It was a field goal battle. It looked like it was a defensive chess match. Nobody was able to make any kind of, any kind of freaking headway whatsoever. All of a sudden, Jacksonville messes around, turns the football over. Baltimore finds the end zone. Now they feeling all right. Jacksonville answers right back. Baltimore then drives down the field on a Jackson to Jackson 62-yard pass. Lamar Jackson finds his man in the end zone. And then Trevor Lawrence put together the drive of his career. Drove the Jags all the way down the field. Then Doug Peterson continued to showcase his moxie, because when Trevor Lawrence found his man in the end zone for the score, they went for 2 and won the goddamn game. You got to give your kudos and bow the head to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Man, they did the damn thing. And I'm ecstatic for them. I'm happy for them. They did the damn thing. Weedy said, you see them attacking Jackson about that tweet. Which tweet? When he said that somebody was dick rodding? Where he said somebody, the only thing they know how to do is ride dick. Was that it? I never saw the fallout from it, but I did see his response. I hope he didn't delete it, but I'm pretty sure that he probably did. And I did see that somebody signed the cornerback Lamar Jackson, and they're going to be playing against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. So I'm hoping I can make, or I should say, I hope that Lamar Jackson makes a play on Lamar Jackson that is somewhat crucial and pivotal. Now, if it's just a regular tackle, I would hope that somebody posts it. But I hope I can have a chapter 2 of Josh Allen versus Josh Allen, now having Lamar Jackson versus Lamar Jackson. That'd be great. But he deleted it. Oh, that sucks. But yeah, I can't say I have a problem with him responding to the tweet, because we're in a different generation, especially with social media. So with all these players being actively active on the app, you just finished the game and you just see motherfuckers online just dragging your name through the mud. And keep in mind, this is a generation of players that grew up with social media, right? Because you got to keep in mind, it's not like, well, they played in high school and played in college and it wasn't really on social media. No. They were constantly online while playing, right? And now that's a part of the game. First thing you do when you get to, your locker, what are you doing? You're checking social media. You're not checking to see texts and calls from your family, your friends, or whatever. Nah, you on social media to see what the world is talking about. So, of course, you just lost an emotional game. What's the first thing that you see? People talking shit about you. You're going to react to it, right? Now, granted, you're human. I don't like the fact that people got a problem, and I didn't see anything. But I'm just going based off what you're telling me here. I'm not going to go into a deep diatribe about it. But I don't like the fact that people make it seem as if, man, people can't be upset that other individuals dragging their name through the mud. I don't understand that. Yeah, Marcus Peters is toast. No. Marcus Peters ain't overrated no more. We all know he's toast. Nobody rates Marcus Peters high anymore. His first season in Baltimore, good on you, mate. After that, it was over. Take the L out of love. That brother cooked, brother. That brother cooked. It's over. I already said it on the I believe this will be Marcus Peters' last season in the NFL, period. He's not getting the turnovers, and that's the only thing that's been his saving grace in the league. He had a forced fumble a couple of weeks back or whatever, but it's at a point now where he's getting cooked damn near every single week. I promise you, this will be his last year in the league. This will be his last year in the league. It's over for him. It's over for him. He's not going to be in the league no more. Because for one, he constantly talking back when he play like shit. So that shows that he's incapable of being coached. In his earlier years, he kept constantly getting turnovers and takeaways. So that was able to balance out the fact that homie constantly gave up a shit ton of yardage. But now, he's not getting the takeaways. Therefore, you're a liability. You're an absolute liability. Basili said, you're not wrong. Sad, but that's the first thing that athletes check in social media and explains why mental health is getting worse. Correct, because people have way too much investment in the POV of individuals who they don't know. It's nothing wrong to be critiqued, but you have to take criticism from individuals who have merit. If you're just taking criticism from literally everybody under the sun, you'll never make progress. Take criticism from your coaches. Take criticism from your peers. The vast majority of people who watch sports are casual individuals who don't understand nothing, who think somebody's the greatest player of all time because of 4 weeks of football, who think somebody is a Hall of Famer after 2 good years in the league. You can't take these people's opinions seriously. If there's no credibility, fuck them. There's no reason why, as an adult, you should be having this conversation, but I understand why there's so many people who have insecurities and everything like that. And I think I said this before. Insecurity is really a retarded concept because when you really think about it, all it is lack of self-esteem. And when you really think about self-esteem in the grand scheme of things, with self-esteem, you look yourself in the mirror and be like, hey, Dan, I'm the shit, not granted. Everybody got flaws and shit. But if you constantly let somebody else's POV dictate how the fuck you feel about yourself, that's crazy. That's absolutely ludicrous. You living life on somebody else's terms. That's why whenever you see somebody who's incredibly stoic, confident, and navigate through life not being unfazed by the thoughts of other individuals in the world, there's a hell of a lot of jealousy. Not because something's wrong with that person, because you wish you could be that person. All it takes is you telling yourself, fam, man, I don't give a fuck about what these people think. I'm going to live my life. And you move forward and you, happy day. It's the motherfucking Arthur theme song when you wake up in the morning. Every day when I'm walking down the street, you having a great day. It's a Jedi mind trick. Shit's stupid. If you have any insecurity, you got any trauma, you work through that shit, you overcome it. How the fuck you got a problem at 21, you 46, and you still got the same issue? So you mean to tell me you ain't try to do nothing to overcome that sumbitch? Granted, it's going to take time. It take work. Shit ain't easy. It's much easier said than done. But you got to work at it. Everything takes work. Shit ain't easy. The fuck? What's wrong with you? Moving on, Jacksonville gets the W. Miami and Houston. If I had to explain how that game went, this is Houston. This is Miami. You see that? You see that? This is what Miami did to Houston. Houston got absolutely fucked all day. Mind you, you see my hand expanding? Gaping. Gaping. They were getting fucked. Granted, they scored 15 unanswered at the end of the game, towards the end of the game. But let's just be honest. Did it really mean anything? Did it help them come back and win? Absolutely not. Because Miami simply took their foot off the gas pedal. They really could have ran up the score to 50. There's not much that has to be said there. They got cooked. Cooked. Destroyed. My God, bruh. I'm telling you something right now. Halftime, Houston couldn't even use the bathroom because the anal fissures prevented them from doing so. By the time the game was over, they was in the locker room like, motherfuckers got destroyed, bruh. Absolutely destroyed. Damn, Rudy put 2 on, said O'Donnell, Leaf, Jamarcus Russell belong in the Hall of Fame. Sir, don't you get started with this. Houston got all kinds of hemorrhoids, dog. Yeah, you're damn right, Black Feekazoid. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Motherfuckers went out there and straight up got fucked. Sideways, raw, no Vaseline. All kinds of bleeding. Will I have HIV? Yeah, you do. At the conclusion of that game, call him Magic Johnson. That's exactly what the fuck happened. Motherfuckers got destroyed. Magic had HIV. He done passed it to Houston because they had anal bleeding. Although that's not how Magic ended up getting it, allegedly. I'm pretty sure he did put it in somebody's booty inside of the late 80s, and then all of a sudden, or I should say early 90s. And then all of a sudden, what's happening? I got to retire. Some old bullshit. Actually, it makes me wonder if Magic Johnson never had to retire, what would those Lakers teams look like in the 90s? Because Shaq got there the season after, Magic came back for half of the 96 season. He should have played another year. Fat Magic with Shaq at center, Kobe coming off the bench. Oh, man, that'd have been something to look at, huh? Literally a year apart in nobody ever thinks about that. Nobody ever thinks about that. What would happen? Next game, the legend that is Mike fucking White took the field in Meth Life Stadium to take on Trevor Siemian and the Chicago Bears. Let me tell you something right now. You know what happened to the Bears? This is the Bears. This is the Jets. Or I should say, this is the Bears. This is Mike fucking White. Ooh. Deep dish pizza. How about long dick style? Said Mike fucking White. Because he sexed the Chicago Bears. They put Zach Wilson on the bench and said, because of your lack of leadership, we're going to teach you a lesson. Mike White comes in and says, let me go 22 or 28, 315 yards and 3 TDs. Excuse me? 149.3 passer rate. Excuse me? Fucking destroyed them motherfuckers. The Bears didn't stand a chance. The Bears are who we thought they were. Garbage. Garbage. They got destroyed. Cooked. They too, raw, sideways, no Vaseline, death by snoo. Oh no, death by penis. That's what happened to them. Absolutely destroyed, bruh. The fuck was they doing out there? Black Hood said, I hope Chiseled would copyright Mick, copyright Mick Pick 6 before somebody else does. Oh no, I'm gonna have to get that one. I'm gonna have to get that trademarked for sure. I'm gonna have to get that trademark for sure because I'm pretty sure the television's gonna start saying it. I have a whole lot of cease and desist that's fixing to be sent out real soon. It got me fucked up. But Chicago got cooked. Absolutely cooked. And we're going to move on from there. And let me say this for the Jets. Is there a quarterback controversy? I think not, right? Because Mike White has showed that he's capable in this offense to put out, performances that can warrant winning, right? But Zach Wilson has also done the same. So since he is the guy who was drafted to do the job, I'm pretty sure that Robert Saleh will insert him back into the starting lineup. However, he has to showcase being apologetic towards his teammates. Because I'm telling you something right now, Saleh, being the type of coach that he is, I would not be surprised if Mans mess around and keep Mike White starting. I would not be surprised if Mike White still remains starting for the time being. So we shall see. We shall see. Moving on. Cincinnati held on to take down the Tennessee Titans. First and foremost, Derrick Henry, where was he? He had that one catch for 69 yards and then had beep, Butterfingers fumbled on the play. That was the only play he made all day. Zach Taylor and the Bengals shut down the king. He did nothing whatsoever. Nothing. Right? The Bengals offense was held in check for some time as well. And then all of a sudden, Burrow put together a drive. He was able to find T. Higgins a couple of times. They get into the end zone. And then all of a sudden, Tennessee could not get the job done. They went down the field. They had to settle for a field goal. They had to get Cincinnati off the field. And what happened? First down after 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 first down. Yo, you can't get off the field. You deal with L's. That's exactly what the hell you got. Cincinnati started the season, what was it, 0-2, 0-3? And now they won 6 of their last 7. These motherfuckers, they bounced all the way back, dog. They bounced all the way back. All the way back. They looked great. Down the stretch, taking care of business. Damn Rudy. Put 2 on. Said, who I got? Tebow, O'Donnell, Leaf, or Russell? If I had to choose between those 4 quarterbacks, who would I take? I'd give me O'Donnell. He took a team to the Super Bowl. Ryan Leaf had 3 great games. Jamarcus Russell. Tebow, he'll will you to a couple of W's, but let's just be honest here. Of all 4 of those guys, O'Donnell's the better quarterback. So give me O'Donnell, bum ass. Uptown Ray Gaming. Put 2 on. Said left hand up. Who are we? The Commanders, indeed. Indeed. They are the Commanders taking care of business. But kudos to the Cincinnati Bengals taking care of business. If you're Tennessee, you got to be sick. You got to be sick. Because you let the game get away from you. Henry didn't play well. Your defense played lights out. But then, on the final 2 drives that your defense was on the field, they got sexed. Burrow tore them up the last fucking, 5-6 minutes? Tore them up. And then you had to deal with an L. So you're not having a good time. You could have been sitting at 8-3. Guess what? You're 7-4, pussy. Moving on. The Commanders and the Atlanta Falcons. Commanders have won 6 straight. The Falcons, after being 4-4 and number 1 in the NFC mid, that's the South, they've lost 3 of their last 4. Marcus Mariota can't make any plays. The whole offense looks incredibly predictable. They're not doing anything. Defensively, they're a hit and miss every single week. Taylor Heineke, when you need a play down the stretch, he makes it happen. Brian Robinson went over 100 yards in this game. The Washington Commanders took care of business. Took care of business. And they doing all this without Chase Young being back yet. They're doing all this without Chase Young being back yet. And when Mariota had the game on the line, 10 play, 80 yards, 4 minutes, down to the goal line, a touchdown would have evened the score. An extra point would have won it. What happens? Ricochet intercepted in the end zone. Let me tell you something right now. Carson Wentz, pack your bags, brother. Maybe you should head to Atlanta. Taylor Heineke is the starting quarterback for Washington moving forward. He is the face. He will become the face of that franchise alongside Chase Young and Terry McLaurin. He's captured the hearts of Washington, D.C. It's over. We already knew that he was going to be the starting quarterback moving forward, but now it's certified. That dude, he finds a way. He finds a way. Is he going to be something special? No. But Wentz, he need to go somewhere else. He need to go somewhere else. Ship has sailed. And do not be surprised if he end up being one of those quarterbacks where it's like, yo, he out the league? Shit. He out the league, but Chase Daniel still got a job? It's going to be like that. It's going to be like that. Wentz, it's time to go. He not going to see the field. Unless Taylor, only time you're going to see Wentz on the field is if Taylor went to the bathroom on victory formation. It's clipped. Washington looked good. 6 straight wins, and I promise you, they will, the way they playing, they will end up in the playoffs, and the Giants will finish at the bottom of the NFC East. I promise you that. Next up, the Arizona Cardinals lose in the clutch against the Los Angeles, and now go Chargers, go. When they needed to showcase a little bit of moxie, when they needed to put the game out, well, not out of reach, but when they needed to take their receipt to the sperm bank and get their comeback, what do you know? Brandon Staley's team was not going to choke. The Chargers marched down the field. They didn't really have to march. They had themselves in favorable, field positioning. But going into the end zone, you find Justin Herbert connecting with that goddamn Yalato, going into the end zone for the score, and we don't want to tie. We want to go for the win. And it was Everett wide open over the middle to end the game for the Chargers. I will say this, for the Cardinals, this is a wash of the season. Everybody thought, man, Arizona was going to be something special this year. They could have possibly made something happen. James Conner healthy again. He was touchdown machine last year. He ran over 120 yards in this game. DeAndre Hopkins, after being suspended, came back and simply could not be stopped. The defense fucking sacked Justin Herbert 4 different times and constantly kept hitting him. And still, Kyler Murray and that offense, they can't do shit. They can't do shit. And I told you guys earlier on in the year, Kyler Murray doesn't have an offense. Arizona really doesn't have an offensive scheme. There's no identity. That man just played backyard football all day. And now even more dysfunction for the team that's on the mid-season hard knocks because Patrick Peterson goes on a podcast and says Kyler Murray only cares about Kyler Murray. What? Why would you do this? Your team is struggling. You're sitting at 4-8. You go on a podcast and say your quarterback doesn't, your coach is going to get scapegoated and your quarterback only cares about himself. What? Where is the, let me pull up the damn, the Ghost. Where is Ghost from Call of Duty? Let me see if somebody got the meme. I'll just play the music. Where's Ghost from Call? God damn it. Where's the meme here? God damn it, somebody else got a different. I need the instrumental in the background. That's exactly what the fuck's going on. Call of Duty, Kyler Murray. It's ridiculous. Doesn't make any sense. Big Humfer said, what moment in high school did I claw mess around the most? Your wood tech class in 5th period, they threw shit everywhere, fucked around with the tools, and pissed off every sub we had. Well, claw mess around. What do you mean by that? A class mess around? Shit, if I remember. I can't remember. But Kyler, why? Well, no, he's on the Vikings. He doesn't play with them anymore. But you played together. They don't play each other. They're not on the same team anymore. But you played together. Like, why? That don't make sense. Y'all were supposed to be friends. Why? It's ridiculous. There's a level, there's an understanding that has to exist. You guys don't have to be friends or whatever. That's a former team, but there's a code that should exist. Y'all both in the league. I don't understand it. Why? Because you're talking about, man, he only cares about himself. What I meant to say was Kyler is going to have to go into a locker room and have to face his teammates having listened to a guy who was a leader, a captain on that squad, talk about he only cares about himself, right? Then the flip side is Patrick Peterson is going to walk into a locker room in Minnesota where you seen the guy who wears a C on his chest talking about yeah, this guy only cares about himself or whatever. Airing out laundry in the public eye. There's still supposed to be a bro code. There's supposed to be a brotherhood that exists there. Even if you're not on the same, you don't air that kind of stuff out. Especially Patrick Peterson, who was a consummate pro up until you found out man was pumping steroids into his butt cheeks. You can't be out here talking like this. It's ridiculous. That don't make sense. Why? Why? So what you also saying is you failed as a leader. You failed as a captain. Because when you were leading the squad and you were in Arizona, did you get him under wraps? Did you freaking help the man? It doesn't make sense. Yeah, with Patrick Peterson, he was when he had the performance enhancing drugs, he tried to countersuit or whatever. He ended up losing. But it's ridiculous. It don't make sense to me. It's ridiculous. Why? For what? For what? You know Arizona's in the mid-season hard knocks. You know they out there with a bunch of goddamn, cameras on them and stuff. For what? Why? It don't make sense. It's ridiculous. Yeah, Peterson starting his clown game. He hopes to be like AB sometime. Man, shit. But Mr. 89 said, ain't no bro code where money and losing is involved. Correct, yes. However, having played, with a team, your teammates with somebody or whatever the case may be, it's ludicrous, absolute lunacy to sit there and still go out there and say stuff like that kind of stuff. It don't make sense, bro. Because what's the point? What's the point? You got this, and Kyler said it in his Twitter post. He got your number. Text him. Yo, fam, what's going on? You used to be a captain. Text him. When you're a captain, you're a leader of men. They don't put that C on the chest for no reason. That joint don't make sense to me, bruh. That type of stuff irks at me. That irks at me. Because you didn't need to do that. And you did it. But regardless, Cardinals look like shit all season long. Chargers keeping pace in the division. Alongside other people in the division, the Las Vegas Raiders win in spectacular fashion, taking down Geno Smith's Seattle Seahawks in overtime. As Josh Jacobs, what have I said all season? What have I said since the days of John Gruden? Give Josh Jacobs the football and watch good things happen. Every time he goes over 100 yards, you see the goddamn Raiders win the football game, all but like 3 times. He had over 300 yards of total purpose yards, though. 300 total purpose yards between receiving and rushing. 229 on the ground, 74 through the air. He led the team in receiving and rushing. Devontae Adams also had 74 yards, but still. Josh Jacobs, that dude, took care of business. Went out there and cooked the Seattle Seahawks. And I will say this, Geno Smith looked very impressive. 27 of 37, 326 yards, 328 yards with 2 touchdowns when they had virtually no running game the entire doggone game. They took care of business. But was it enough to take down the Raiders? Absolutely not. This was the type of performance we expected to see from the Raiders down the stretch all season. But those 50-50 games, they could not win those games. They failed to win those games. And now they may have picked up this OT win, but it might be a little bit too late for them. Mason put 5 on and said, I know you don't like the clown AB at top 3 receiver, no cap. And I want him back because he's better than most of the top wide receivers in the league. No, it's not that because I dislike how AB carries himself as a human, or I should say carries himself as an adult, that he's now, no longer top 3. Antonio Brown is still amongst the best receivers in the league if he were to return back right now. Understand, when he went to Tampa, he was playing in a limited role because they made sure not to have him in a prominent, position. Because you had Evans, you had Godwin. You're not going to bring in Antonio Brown and he's going to be the number 1. But Tom Brady targeted him as if he was. Oh, Jeff's in the building. What's going on? But Antonio Brown is still incredibly capable. Do not get it twisted whatsoever. He is still incredibly capable. But he'll never see the field ever again. He won't ever see, the NFL ever again. Coney said, you off on this one. Him being a former teammate gives him more insight to his POV. Him as a leader can do everything but help out, but it's on him to listen and change. No, correct. It's on him to listen and change, but you don't do that in public. Because if you do that in public, what does that say to your teammates right now? When are you going to air out stuff on them? So now you looking over, like, it reminds me of the D'Angelo Russell thing, where it's like, this dude, why you sending out, why you even taking photos? Why you doing all this other stuff? You putting stuff out in the public. This don't need to be public, especially if you got the man's number. That's where I always had a problem, right? If you're not cool with somebody, y'all don't engage in conversation, you just want to give an opinion on something, that ain't no problem. But if I got your number, we've texted before. We've been on the phone before. Ain't no way I'm going to say something like that in public. Ain't no way. Now, granted, you online, you got to get your stuff going. But we used to be teammates. I got your phone number. I got to talk to you first. Because Kyla's response is like, whoa, where the hell's this coming from? That's why I said, I got your number. I got to talk to you first. I'm not saying you got to check in, because I don't believe anybody got to check in. But if you not playing whatever, it's fam, you good? What's going on right now? Fam, you look like shit out there. Y'all offense look terrible. I always say, if you got somebody number you're contacting there, I ain't going to say nothing to you publicly or say nothing about you publicly when I got your phone number in my phone. Now, if he reached out to Kyla, first and be like, hey, man, fam, you got to get it together, because right now it is what it's looking like right now, whatever the case may be. All right, cool. But if he ain't never sent no message, which apparently he hasn't, and he just go to public and you got something to say, then I got problems with it. Cody says sometimes you got to blast somebody like that for them to really get the point. Well, we can agree to disagree over there, because me personally, maybe it's not my thing. Maybe it's just not my thing. Fair enough. Maybe it's just not my thing. But nevertheless, Raiders get the victory on the road over the Seattle Seahawks behind Josh Jacobs' phenomenal performance. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, does that make Jacobs the leading rusher in the league? Because I'm sure Derrick Henry's dud of a performance definitely has him behind Chubb. Yup, Josh Jacobs is now the league leader in rushing. Oh, wow, Derrick Henry is number 2, and Chubb is 3. Saquon Barkley is 4, and frequent flyer Booby Miles Sanders is sitting there at 5. All righty. Next up, Los Angeles versus the Kansas City Chiefs. It was, best way to put it, this is the Rams. This is the Chiefs. They too got fucked. Rams, gaping butthole, fucked. Perkins had to step in at quarterback due to the absence of Matthew Stafford. Did that change anything? Absolutely not. Travis Kelce found the end zone once more. Mahomes continued to play a very good game. The Chiefs pretty much might as well have had the night off. People were talking about, oh, man, remember the last time these two teams played each other? Man, it was an absolute masterclass of a football game on Monday night. Did it matter? No, because these are two completely different teams. Well, at least the Chiefs, you could still argue they've got the same kind of firepower. But can I say the same for the Rams? No. They, right now, are looking like the worst defending Super Bowl champion since the 03 Bucks. My God. They might become the first team to end the season with a losing record since the 03 Bucks. We've had defending Super Bowl champions not make the playoffs or fail to live up to the standard that they had. But the Rams look bad. Offense, defense, special teams, bad. Period, across the board. They look terrible. They look terrible. Dylan said, can I do the video on Gary Goodrich and the Paul Herrera knockout? Is that the elbows? Is that the elbows? Because I've done that. Yeah, I've done a video on the elbows. You got to go look for that one. I've done a video on the elbows. Yeah, I've done a video on the elbows already. So you got to go search for that one. I forget what the name of the video was, but I've done one on that one before. Iris said, I'm not hating on Cap, but I just don't think he'd be good pickup for his play and how the media would be around him. No, it's clip for Cap. I don't know why people keep talking about Cap coming back. Mans ain't play in 6 years. It's clipped. And my biggest thing with Cap was you can't sit over here talking about, man, we don't need the NFL. The NFL is this kind of institution. Man, your girlfriend out here talking about slave owners and all this other stuff, and then you keep trying to get back onto the plantation. It don't make sense. That seems counterintuitive. You can't say, man, it's big. I'm bigger than the NFL. I don't need the NFL. I don't even want to be in the NFL. Hey, when somebody signed me, they're blackballing me. Why won't I get back in the NFL? Which one is it? Which one is it? I'm not saying two things can't be right, but fam, you had a settlement. You done took some money. Now all of a sudden you want to come back. I'm very confused. I don't know. It's bizarre. I don't quite get it with Cap, but I think the ship has sailed. If you really want to play football, and I've said this before, you really want to play football, go to the CFL, go to the MFL, go to any of these other leagues. Fucking tear up the league. Tear it up. You only got to go for 1 year. Tear up the league. Let that man go to the CFL, throw for 5,000 yards, 50-plus touchdowns, lead the team to the Grey Cup, and then sit there and be like, man, the NFL said I was washed. I promise you, son, his phone gonna ring. I promise you his phone gonna ring. But you can't just play this way, man. Remember when I took the 49ers to the Super Bowl? Oh, you mean a decade ago? Damn near a decade ago? Come on now. But Kansas City Chiefs get the W. Last but not least, before we get into the final primetime game, San Francisco and New Orleans. Well, San Francisco's offense didn't need to do much, but New Orleans got absolutely zipped. How many points did they score? 0. And what did that Niners defense do? Score was 13-0, but let's just be honest here. Saints were getting fucked all day. That's the Saints. That's the 49ers. Destroyed. They did nothing all day. Basili said that, let's be real, Cap peaked early 2014. He wasn't the same. I agree. But come on now. Saints did a whole lot of nothing. 0 points. Alvin Kamara put the ball on the ground twice. Not once, twice. And they lost both. That's how you lose football games. Moving on, primetime, Green Bay Packers, Philadelphia Eagles. Aaron Rodgers was off to a very, very good start. Granted, he did have a couple of interceptions. One inside Eagles territory, the other early in the game on their own side of the field that led to Philly's second touchdown. And I'll say this. Then there was a injury that happened, and Jordan Love came in. People right now are talking about Jordan Love should start quarterback moving forward. Shut down Rodgers for the rest of the year. Yes and no, because believe it or not, and I've said this regarding the Giants because still I believe the Giants will fall out of the playoff race. I think there's still a shot for that 7th seed. I think that 6th seed will go to Dallas. No, pardon me. I think Dallas will be that 5th seed, and then the 6th seed probably is going to mess up going to Washington or something like that. But if Rodgers can play, I would play Rodgers. But if by week 15, let's just say they lose 2 more games, then, or I should say lose 1 more game, really, because 7-9, I don't think that's going to get you to the playoffs. Unless they run the table and get in at 9-8, 7-9 is clipped for that. But the injury is unfortunate. He didn't come back, but Jordan Love came in freaking 6 of 9, 111 yards. He threw a long-ass fucking touchdown to Christian Watson for 63 yards. But you want to know what's funny about the Packers? There's no playoffs in their future. You want to know why? That defense is fucking atrocious. 353 yards on the ground the Eagles ran for. 353 yards on the ground. Do you understand in Madden, on all Madden, how difficult it is to run for 353 yards? Hell, on All Pro, it's still difficult to run for 353 yards in any Madden game. But in real life, Jalen Hurts had over 100 yards on the ground in the first quarter. He became the only player in NFL history to have over 125 yards through the air and on the ground through the first half of a game. The Eagles were cooking the Packers defense on the ground. Hurts didn't even need to throw the ball. How the fuck 353 yards on the ground? That's crazy, bruh. At one point, you got to have a level of pride. Do you understand how giddy the Eagles' O-line was to line up in front of the Packers' front? Motherfuckers was laughing when they was blocking, bruh. Jesus Christ. It was 363 yards. My apologies. I was 10 yards off. They say go, Pack, go. Yes, go, Pack, go to the goddamn gas chamber. Because that's crazy, bruh. That's crazy. What the hell were they doing? How you get cooked like that? Somebody ought to be ashamed of themselves, dog. Peyton Patouon said, tell him Stanley yell nuts. 0. How you get destroyed like that on the ground? You ought to be embarrassed. Yes, correct. Black buoy, fly. Yes, indeed. I'd be embarrassed too if I was a Packers fan. They went out there and did nothing, dog. How you get torched like that on the ground? And what's so interesting is it was still somewhat of a close game. And then that second Rodgers interception happened and quelled all of the momentum that Green Bay had, right? And after that, the writing was already somewhat on the wall. But here's what's interesting. Jordan Love came in with a change of pace, a quick touchdown on that 4-play, 75-yard drive, right? The Packers needed a stop. What happened? The Eagles got the football back with like 8:50 on the clock. They kicked a field goal with about 2:15 something. Why is that? Because they kept picking up first downs on the ground. Hurts didn't even need to throw the football. How the fuck you going to win football games? You can't even stop the run. If you can't stop the run, you'll never be a team that can win football games. I'm sorry. There'll be some games in which, oh, man, we was able to get the W. But in the long run, you ain't winning no playoff games. You ain't winning no Super Bowls. If you can't stop the run, guess what? You are a bottom feeder of the league. Bottom line. Miles Sanders, balling. Jalen Hurts, balling. Jason Kelsey, balling. Gainwell, balling. Boston Scott came in for like 2 carries. First down. Everybody who touched the football, first down. That's crazy, bruh. That's crazy. How the fuck they run for 363 yards and it was still somewhat of a close game? All the Packers defense had to do was get a couple stops. They was able to force a turnover on downs once. I promise you, if they got a stop and didn't allow a field goal after the Christian Watson touchdown, if Jordan Love led the team down the field, because he did lead him down the field for a field goal. Let's just say he went down the field and found the end zone. I promise you that would have been the coming out party for Jordan Love. I promise you. Motherfuckers would have crowned him the new quarterback. Let's shut down Aaron Rodgers or whatever. Trade the man at the end of the year despite the fact he just signed a new contract. I promise you. But that defense, good Lord. I hope they walked home. I hope they walked home from Philadelphia. They better still be walking right now, because that was absolutely ludicrous. And last but not least, Pittsburgh and Indianapolis. Let me say this right now. Pittsburgh played their very best first half of the entire season. Third quarter, they got absolutely cooked. Indianapolis really, although they scored 14 points, it could have easily been 21. That fumble inside the 5, absolutely ludicrous. I don't understand how Matt Ryan and Jonathan Taylor Swift did not get it together on that particular handoff. They should have easily got the handoff there, and it would have been a touchdown. Matt Ryan couldn't get the football back, right? Fast forward, fourth quarter, Kenny Pickett remembers how to play football because all the entire third quarter, he was 0 of 3, 3 and outs, 0 yards of offense. Najee Harris ultimately left the game at halftime, and then what ended up happening? Pittsburgh actually puts together a drive. They go down the field. Benny Snell steps in, picks up some crucial yards on the ground. George Pickens had dropped a couple of balls, but then he was able to go out there and catch crucial passes. Deontay Johnson had a reception for a first. Freiermuth had a reception for a first. Pittsburgh messed around and found the end zone, went for the 2-point conversion. They were able to get that, make it a 7-point lead. Down the field again, Indy failed to do anything. Pittsburgh couldn't do anything. Indy gets the football back with 5 minutes left to play. Matty Ice showcased the ice is in his veins, drives down the field, 2-minute warning, 4th and 3, 3 timeouts. They get the first down. They take their time. What? You could tell I was sitting on this for a minute. What? The Colts get a first down. What? You're inside Steelers territory with 3 timeouts. You get a first down. You call a timeout? No. What? First down. Matt Ryan takes a sack. You call timeout? No. What? Second down. Mind you, time is still moving. You take the sack. There's 1:35 on the clock. Call timeout. You got 3. You're clearly not going to try to give the Steelers the football back here, so you need to call a timeout. No. What? Then, what happens? Second down. Matt Ryan got to use his legs. He tries to pick up the first down. He comes up a couple yards short. You call timeout to try to regroup before third down? No. What? You got about like 1:10 on the clock here. You try to run a quick run on third down. Jonathan Taylor is stopped for a loss. What? Then you call timeout on 4th and 3 again. What? You got 3 timeouts. 3. 2-minute drill. You just passed the 2-minute warning. You call timeout on what would be the final play of the game for you if you fail? What? Call me Max Headroom. What? Jeff Saturday ought to be ashamed of himself. How many times? Every single week in at least one primetime game, there's a coach who fails in clock management, whether it be at the conclusion of halftime, whether it be the conclusion of the first half or the conclusion of the game. There's always one coach per primetime game that shows up and does not know how to clock manage. And this time around, not only was it Dan Campbell on Thursday, it was also Jeff Saturday on Monday. Motherfuckers, stupid. Absolutely stupid. And what happens? Matt Ryan looking towards his left, pass was broken up. Was there pass interference? You can argue there was. You can also argue there wasn't. One way or another, I still blame Jeff Saturday. Fuck the penalty. Why the fuck didn't you call timeout? How does your quarterback take a sack? Fumble at that, because he did fumble. He takes a sack fumble. You have 3 timeouts with 1:30 on the clock. You don't call timeout. Shit don't make sense. Saturday on Monday. Yup, Saturday on Monday. What? Ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. They deserve to fucking lose. And once more, for everybody who took an L, the Colts, Packers, Saints, Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals, Falcons, Titans, Bears, Texans, Ravens, Bucks, Broncos, Patriots, Giants, and Lions. Every single one of y'all, I hope y'all didn't eat Thanksgiving meals nor have Thanksgiving leftovers, because the only thing you got to eat was the carbon dioxide on the L train, because I don't understand. There's some teams that really enjoy taking L's, bro. There's teams that enjoy taking L's. There's teams that do everything they can in their power to mess around and take an L. I don't understand it. David put 5 on and said, is it fair to say that Todd Bowles is the unanimous winner of the cat decision and then blaming the GOAT for a sub 1 chance of an INT? Absolutely pathetic. Well, I mean, Todd Bowles certainly has showcased that he's not a very good head coach. Great coordinator, not a good head coach. Some people got to play their role. Black said it was his birthday on Thanksgiving. Well, I hope you enjoyed yourself. One way or another, all of those doggone teams, all they did all weekend long was eat nothing but
Fresh hot ales, fresh hot ales, fresh hot ales, fresh hot ales.
fresh hot L's, bruh. That's all they had on the marquee. Fresh hot L's. They went out there, played bad. If your team lost this week, I apologize, man. I'm sorry for you. I feel bad for you. If your team lost last week, I feel bad for you. But perhaps they can bounce back. Let me give you my quick picks on who I think is fixing to win this week, and then I'm going to get the hell up out of here. So we're going to do rapid fire. First and foremost, tomorrow night, AFC showdown between the Low New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills. Live on Prime Video and on Twitch. Will I be live? Of course I will. And make sure you guys head over to Underdog Fantasy right now and participate on the pick'em so you can mess around and get the job done. Matter of fact, let me take a look right now. I might just mess around and go on to Underdog Fantasy as we speak right now. Click the link in my description. Use promo code Adonis. Participate in the pick'em, and they will deposit up to $100 to match, your deposit. Or I should say they'll match your deposit up to $100 on Underdog. Now, let's see if I can get this game. Who would I have? Josh Allen against New England. Let's see here. In the playoff game, Mans absolutely torched them. Now, makes you wonder what the production will be. Let's see. Devin Singletary has been playing pretty good this week. You know what? Let's see here. For the Patriots, they don't have Mac Jones throwing an interception, unfortunately. But Josh Allen over 270 yards passing. 7 rush attempts. I will say rushing yards over 44.5. You know what? I'll say Josh Allen will go over. I'll say Josh Allen will run for at least 45 yards because he likes to use his legs. So I will say Josh Allen will run for at least 45 yards. Then, let's see here. Dawson Knox. We can always go Dawson Knox. 3 receptions. I think Dawson Knox will have some receptions because if there's anything about Bill Belichick, he wants to take away your number 1 option. So he's going to either key in on Stephon Diggs or he's going to key in on Stephon Diggs. Damn right. I think he's going to try to take Diggs out the game. So who's he going to have to dump it off to? He's probably going to try to find a safety blanket. Give me Dawson Knox over 4 receptions, right? Then for the Low, Ramondre Stevenson has been running pretty doggone hard. Von Miller dealing with an injury or whatever coming off the edge. So you know what? Give me Ramondre Stevenson, especially with the injury to South Park son of Satan Damian Harris. Give me Ramondre Stevenson over 62 yards rushing. Give me Ramondre Stevenson over 62 yards rushing. Then let's see here. Hunter Henry, boy, he had a little bit of a game, all right, last week. So you know what? Give me Hunter Henry at least 3 receptions over here. And then last but not least, last week a kicker let me down. This week, this man better not let me down just for the memes. Nick Folk! At least 2 field goals tomorrow night for the Low. Nick Folk! At least 2 field goals for the Low. And we're going to try to turn 15 Dura. We're going to try to turn 15 Dura into 300. That's what I'm locking in on Underdog Fantasy. So you guys, there it is right there. There it is right there. Locked in. Make sure y'all head over, click the link in my description, download the Underdog Fantasy app right now. Use promo code Adonis. This is my slate that I got going for the game. Will I add another one Tomorrow, perhaps, maybe I might. One way or another, that's what I'm going to try to do. Turn 15 into 300. That is my, my slotted, picks for tomorrow. Will it work out in my favor? I'm not too sure. One way or another, we shall find out, as I got to go and give you my rapid picks for tomorrow. So, Buffalo Bills, New England Patriots. Now granted, Buffalo has not looked very good over the course of the past few weeks, right? New England is starting to try to get stuff together after starting an abysmal 1-3. They're starting to bounce back and get stuff together. You know what? I feel like Bill Belichick is seething at the mouth to play against the doggone Bills, and I think he's going to actually go out there and get the job done. Give me the Lolly Lule Low and an upset alert to make things interesting in the AFC East. The Pittsburgh Steelers travel to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Give me Pittsburgh to win on the road. Baltimore and Denver, Broncos country. Let's die. Give me the goddamn Ravens to win the game and take care of business. Green Bay and Chicago. This now is the battle to see who will take first place. Or I should say, Green Bay, if they win, can take possession for the most all-time wins as a franchise, right? And funny how things played out and got to this particular point. But give me Green Bay. If Aaron Rodgers plays, come on now. Aaron Rodgers absolutely owns the Bears. Give me Green Bay to win over Chicago. Jacksonville and Detroit. You know what? Jacksonville, hell of a doggone win last week. Detroit, they let one slip away. Give me Detroit to get that W. Cleveland and Houston. It's no longer prime time. I thought it was prime time. It's not prime time anymore. Cleveland and Houston. The return of Deshaun Watson. Houston's absolutely garbage. So give me the Browns to win this game here. Jets and Minnesota Vikings. This is going to be a huge game, right? Huge game. But, boy, I like the way the Jets look, man. I really do. But the game is going to be played at 1 o'clock, so you already know what that means. So I say, give me Kirk family member Cousins to get the job done and put up points, leading to the Jets' 5th L of the season. Giants versus Washington Commanders. Left hand up, Commanders stand up. Give me the Commanders to get the W. Tennessee Titans, Philadelphia Eagles. Ooh, that's going to be a great game. That's going to be a great game. But let me tell you something right now. When Tennessee's defense needed to get a stop in the crunch time of the game, they failed to do so. Philadelphia, masters of running the football. Give me Philadelphia to win over, Henry and the Tennessee Titans. Seattle Seahawks, Los Angeles Rams. The Rams look like shit. They're going to continue to look like shit, and they will cement themselves with their losing season at the conclusion of this Sunday. Give me the Seahawks to win on the road. Miami versus San Francisco. Boy, that's going to be a good game. That's going to be a great game. And Miami firing on all cylinders right now. Tua looking like an MVP candidate. Tyreek Hill looking like an MVP candidate. But let me tell you something right now. San Francisco's defense ain't no joke. They're going to get after Tua Tonga on an areola. Moreover, they're going to force Tua Tonga on an areola to turn that football over. And let me tell you something right now. San Francisco will take that football and turn that son bitch into points. They only scored 13 last week. They're seething to go and get themselves, a whole lot of points this week. And here come Debo. Who? Debo gonna make his goddamn presence felt this game. 0-0. And fucking George Kittle gonna go out there and take care of business. Give me San Francisco, the team that I predict to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl, to go out there and take care of business. I'm rolling with the 49ers to beat the Dolphins. Then Kansas City and Cincinnati. Woo, rematch of the AFC Championship. Let me tell you something right now. It's going to go down in Cincinnati, but let me tell you something right now. Kansas City wants vengeance, and they will get vengeance. I'm taking the Chiefs to win over the Bengals, and I think the Chiefs will win this game handedly at that. Las Vegas and the Chargers. Boy, it's going to be another AFC West matchup. And let me tell you something right now. Both these goddamn teams need this W. The Chargers need it just a little bit more. However, I don't really trust that defense of theirs. I don't. But nonetheless, I'm still going to say, and now go Chargers, go, to get the W over the Raiders. Sunday Night Football, Colts and Cowboys. Boy, this is going to be CC'd like an email. Colts, Cowboys, who wins? Boy, let me tell you something right now. The Colts don't look good, and the Dallas Cowboys defense is very capable. Give me the Cowboys to win on Sunday night and Monday Night Football, Tampa Bay and New Orleans. And you know what? New Orleans has always seemed to have Tampa Bay's number in the regular season. Granted, Tampa Bay got them earlier on this season, but damn it, I'm rolling with the goddamn Saints to go and get the job done. I think they're going to go out there and Alvin Shinsuke Nakamura is going to kill them. Moreover, Tampa Bay is the worst rushing team in the league right now. So if they have to lean on the back of a 45-year-old Tom Brady with a banged-up offensive line trying to stop Cameron Jordan and them boys up front, I got some bad news for you. Give me the Bucks, and let me read down all of my predictions. I got the Patriots over the Buffalo Bills. I got the Steelers over the Falcons. Give me Baltimore over Denver. Give me Green Bay over Chicago. Detroit over Jacksonville. Cleveland over Houston. Minnesota over New York. That's the Jets, that is. Washington Commanders over the New York Giants. Philadelphia Eagles over the Tennessee Titans. The Seahawks over the Rams. The 49ers over the Dolphins. Kansas City over Cincinnati, the Chargers over the Raiders, the Cowboys over the Colts, and last but not least, the Saints over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let me know in the comment section right now, not the chat, but the comment section, who you guys got winning this game. Akira Cruz put 2 on, he put 3 on. Say, you put your money on who? Let me know who you guys got winning this particular week. I appreciate you guys tuning into the stream. I will be live once more tomorrow night for Thursday Night Football. Make sure to tell a friend, 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 tell a friend to tune in, and make sure that you hit the like button if you have not hit the like button already. And damn it, Pittsburgh, get the job done. Give Atlanta the L. Hand them the L. We shall find out who wins, and hopefully I can hit on my Underdog fantasy call. But until then, we shall see. I'll catch you guys tomorrow night. Peyton said check the Discord. I'll head over there right now. In the meantime, y'all have yourselves a good night. Take us out, Eddie.
Good night. Suck my dick. Bye-bye.